Hi, I'm Keith McEvoy, CEO of Success That Works and founder of SuperCharge Academy. Right, got a little present for you this week. It's something that you probably hit more often than you want to. It's when you're in a room or on a conference call with lots of different people who have different egos and agendas, and there's politics flying around and there's lots of emotion, and you're thinking to yourself, how on earth are we going to make sense of this chaotic situation? Because if someone doesn't take charge and someone doesn't grab hold of this, then we're going to waste a lot of time. We're going to probably spend months and months and months moaning about the same old problems, and we're going to get nowhere. In fact, this has probably happened to you all the time. There's probably loads of problems that you already have that you're on yet another conference call about something and you know is barely going to move forward. So here's a trick. This is a beautiful one, especially if you've got your boss that's maybe a bit thinks they know more than they do and they don't allow other people to join in, or you've got those awkward colleagues from, you're in procurement, they're in finance, they're in sales and marketing, and they don't quite talk together because they've got very different views. Well, here's a way to get it all together very quickly. This thing takes maybe about an hour, but it'll save you weeks and weeks and maybe even months of your time. And by the way, you'll be a superstar because everyone will go, oh, how on earth do you do this? So here's how you do it. So the first thing is, get the people you need either on a call or ideally around a table. And the first thing you do is you ask a really dumb question and you get them to state, well, you didn't notice that, right? It didn't write state, it wrote state, okay? State the problem. What is it that everyone thinks the problem is? And you'd be amazed because quite often there isn't an agreement on the problem. And normally when that happens, the best thing you want them to do is say, actually, do you know what? Let's state the problem as we're all upset, right? Or something that's very generic that no one can say, hang on a second, I'm not upset. Or, I don't care, right? State it generically, because if you state it something generically, like we're upset, then everyone can nod up and down and go, do you know what? I can agree to that and everyone else can agree to that. You've just brought a group together, all right? Very simple trick. Well, it's not even a trick. It's just humanness, yeah? The second thing you need to do is let's figure out what's going on. And I call this stage capture, okay? And I use a little tool. It's called an affinity diagram. I'll just write it up for you, affinity diagram. And it's a way of gathering out of people's brains what's actually going on and doing it in a way that, first of all, it allows everyone to get what's in their brains and what's worrying them out, but also doing it in a way that's semi-safe and people feel that they do want to contribute in, and especially to get off their chest what's actually worrying them or upsetting them. So normally what I do is I use stick-its or post-it notes to do this. And really easy. If you've done brainstorming before, very like brainstorming. Actually, there's a trick to this that I'll show you to make your own brainstorming even better. With the affinity diagram, you're just looking for patterns. And normally what I do is, we're all upset. I'll ask, okay, what's upsetting you? All right, very simple question. What's upsetting you? And it allows everyone to go off and go, well, actually, I'm upset because my customers are shouting at me down the phone. I'm upset because spending too much money on this. I'm upset because my boss doesn't listen to me. I'm upset because you just gather it all. And the first time you do this, it starts off normally 3 or 4, and then you stick them up and you go, actually, Bill is upset because Keith keeps stopping his videos and not running through to the end, okay? Now here's the trick. As you start sticking them up, right, you'll see some people say for brainstorming sessions, stick up and don't query. Well, that's frankly wrong, okay? What you want to do is, when someone sticks up a stick-it note to say, I'm upset because it's costing me too much money, right? And this is really important, is you need to allow everyone else around the table to say, well, hang on a second, what do you mean by that? So if I say it's costing me too much money, and someone says, well, I don't get it, right? You allow them to ask the question, go, well, what do you mean by that? Well, actually, it's from my budget and it's cost me $10,000. You go, well, why are you spending that? Well, because no one else is going to. And it allows the conversation to develop a bit so that everyone starts understanding what each of these are. So in a way, it allows me to say what's bothering me, but it allows everyone else to ask questions that allow them to connect with what's bothering me. And that's really important, that everyone gets to understand everyone else's perspectives. Because in a typical brainstorming session, everyone puts up the sticky notes, but you don't ask and understand why exactly someone put that up. And it leads first of all to groupthink, which is terrible, because if you don't understand what that sticky note actually means up there and you haven't had the opportunity to ask about it, well, then there's no way can you consider and understand what's actually behind that note. So really important, allow people to ask questions as you put it up. So the next thing is to organize, and this is where the affinity diagram comes in. So what you're going to have is a pile of sticky notes. Depending on if you've got huge characters, they might be putting up 20 sticky notes, right? All the things that are wrong in their life. You know, the cat got sick on the carpet. Everything will be out there, yeah? So it's all going to be up there. Now you got to organize it as a team. And this is where an affinity diagram is just brilliant. Because essentially what you say is, you look at the board or wherever you've got your sticky notes and you go, wow, guys, we have a lot on there. What's the overall categories? And everyone will look and go, oh, do you know what? I think there's one about money. So euros or dollars, yeah? You go, which ones? And so, well, my one's about money. So you move the sticky note there. And you keep moving the sticky notes that relate to money or budget. And someone says, oh, actually, my one is not about money. It's about team communications. Oh, so another team communications. Yeah. So you move the sticky notes related to that. Oh yeah, my one's about that too. Yeah. And eventually you'd be left, your affinity diagram, you'd be left with maybe 5 to 7, maybe even 10 different categories of problems. Yeah. So now we've gone from, remember we started off saying we're just upset. Yeah. And then we said, oh, here's everything we're upset about. Okay. And now we've gone to, actually, do you know what? We're actually quite upset about money and team communications and whatever else. So do you see how far we've come with a diverse team in a pretty simple exercise? Now, here's the one. Okay, you've got everything around the table. You've got everyone to stick up their post-it notes. Everyone's helped arrange them. Last step, prioritize. And this is the biggie. Okay? So which one is it? Are we going to focus on team communications first? Or money first? Or whatever else it is? Which one are we going to focus on first? And then, which one will we focus on next? Right? And using the and then, which will we focus on next, takes away a lot of the angst about, well, I want my thing to be done first. So I go, well, actually, you're right. The money one, I understand why if we resolve that one or tackle that one, that's actually our biggest problem. And after that, we'll move on to team communications. And it allows everyone to participate in that. There's a few real cool tools. You can vote on this, or the really cool one I like is you give everyone 3 little sticky notes, basically 3 votes, and everyone gets up and they stick their votes next to the top of the communications, and you simply count the number of little votes next to each one. Oh yeah, as a group, we voted for that one. And it just allows everyone to move on in a coordinated way. So after you've prioritized, now the hard work begins. But the hard work is so much easier when you've had this discussion, everyone else on the same page, everyone else understands how you got to this arrangement, everyone participated in it. So here are the 3 things that are really important and actually make this work. The first is, it's visible. It's very visible. Everyone can see how you got from I'm upset to we're focusing on this. Everyone can see that there were no hidden agendas and how it all worked. Everyone was able to contribute. Everyone saw their ideas going up there too. Even at the end, look, there's one of my ideas there. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. I can see visibly how everything worked and how I came to that conclusion. The second thing, it's inclusive. Yeah? There's nothing, I didn't say capture ideas only if such and such. I said capture everything, because we're then going to organize it and we're going to organize it. Yep, so it's very inclusive, and that really appeals to human beings, because you also have quiet people who they'll just have one post-it note up there and they're afraid to say it, but it's up there. And you have the loud people who are 20 post-it notes, and they can see their stuff there as well. So you've managed to include all the different personality types and agendas all on one. And the third thing that's probably the most important thing is out of the group, so if there's 10 people, you've managed to get 10 different perspectives on why you're upset. And that is hugely positive because you've been able to tease out of all the different brains around there how they view the problem, how they view why they're upset, and you've brought all of that to bear on your problem. And that is hugely powerful. You know yourself. If you are asked to come up with a solution to a problem just by yourself, you'll come up with maybe 3 or 4 ideas. Put 2 of you together, you come up with 5 or 6. Come up with a big group of people, especially when they're diverse and those egos and agendas are colliding. They have a diverse set of opinions and a diverse set of drivers. You will get some brilliant perspectives. You will learn, just by this exercise, you will learn stuff that you had no idea about before. So it's a very valuable experience for everyone to do. Right, okay, so go and tackle one of those problems that hasn't sorted itself out yet. Again, don't be afraid of those egos and agendas. You have a tool that you can actually go and put to work right this second. Go have fun with it. So if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, I've got 2 things that you can actually do right this second. The first thing is click the button just here and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that means that you won't miss any future episodes from me. And the second thing that you can do is, if you click the button just here, is you can sign up for my weekly newsletters, which have loads of free tools and insights and lots of really cool stuff that basically will help you to go and earn your worth in a job you love with a great work-life balance, because you so deserve it.